Hey, Robert and Eli, this is Ben Ronenberg here. I'm really excited to do a quick AdWords account review for you. We've got a really nice Google Doc with all the notes that you're going to hear about, the subjects and strategies you're going to hear about in this video. We're going to have a Google Doc that lays it all out. But I want to dive right into the AdWords account and tell you the exact findings we're seeing, the things we want to change, strategies that we want to improve. And so I'm not going to waste any time. We're going to jump right in, try to keep this to about 15 minutes. So appreciate your patience watching this stuff. This is going to be really, really valuable information, and this is going to guide our activities for the next 30 to 90 days. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So I'm going to go and share my screen. We'll do the whole screen here. All right. So here's a preview of the document, guys. Let me minimize this. Just want to show you this real quick. So the topics we're going to cover, we've got historical data. It's really important to us to look at your performance on the campaign week over week and month over month. We want to look at your conversion tracking and the actions that you guys are actually reporting on. So right now it's only calls on the ads. We'll dive into that a little bit in a second, but we can do more with that. The settings in the campaign, there's some improvements we can make there. The campaign structure, there's definitely improvements there. You'll see what we're going to cover. Within the campaign, you've got the ad level, you've got keyword level, budget management. We're going to talk about how much you're going to need to spend per day to get the result you're looking for. We're going to talk a little bit about remarketing. So that's getting in front of people that have been to your website previously. How can we re-engage them through ads to bring them back to the website and get them to take action and contact you, really. Google Analytics, we'll cover that, which is a different product than Google AdWords. There's no additional cost to it, but it's a way to measure all the traffic coming into your website and the behavior of all the visitors coming into your website. Very, very helpful information in Google Analytics. Competitor analysis, we're not going to dive too deep into that today, but we do want to talk to you about who you're in direct competition with and how we can go spy on their strategy. We can look at their keywords, their ads. We can basically go see what everybody else is doing out there and see if there's anything we can glean from that and use it for you. And then we'll talk about multi-channel, which really is a fancy way of saying Google is not the only place where you could get customers from. And so we want to bring up the idea of looking at Bing as another channel where we would run similar ads. And then Facebook is a great way to do retargeting and re-engage people there. Then lastly, but definitely not least, is your landing pages. To date, it's pretty much been the homepage. And the idea with landing pages is that we can create an additional page and test it against the current page, but there's some things we need to do first before we do that. But we can, over time, test different iterations of your page and that we're sending the traffic to, and then we can improve that conversion rate to basically get you better bang for your buck. Everything in this document is designed to, get you a better bang for your buck with all these different levers we could pull to get your campaigns running as efficiently as possible. So let me hop over to AdWords, and we'll start off with number one here. This is going to be your historical data. I want to show you this actually first. This is a sheet that we created, and so we'll update this for you weekly and monthly. So you've got a nice clean view of all of these key metrics, your clicks, your impressions, these are like your traffic metrics, your click-through rate, that would be a traffic metric. Your average CPC is your cost per click. Cost, obviously, how much you're spending. Average position, we like to think about. That's kind of more of a traffic metric. And then your conversion metrics. That's really key over here. So we're going to fill this out for you. Again, you should have this. This is something you should be aware of weekly, monthly. So in AdWords, let's just jump right in. We've got the ability to look at this data. I like to look at it monthly when we're looking, high level, all time. You guys started getting traffic last November. It's been about a year. And you can see how these numbers move over time. So your clicks and impressions and CTR, these are I consider these like your traffic metrics. They're pretty consistent, about 300 clicks a month, about 20,000 impressions a month. and your click-through rate's pretty consistent around 1%, a little bit above. Your cost per click is fairly steady there, about 90 cents. And your ad spend or your cost has been consistent around 230 bucks a month. So your conversions, though, your conversion numbers are not really consistent other than just a bunch of zeros. And all that means is that you're not really tracking everything that you could be as far as a result from these clicks coming in. So the results that we can look at are going to be a few different things. So if we go into conversions, we can see right now you're only tracking calls from the ads. So that's if someone goes to google.com, sees your phone number in the ad, calls. You're not tracking calls from people that come to the website and then dial your number on the website. You're not actually seeing that data tied back to AdWords, but we can tie that data back to like the keyword level, and that'll inform us on which keywords are bringing in those good results and which are not. And that will help us to, again, like I said before, get you a better bang for your buck. So we want to track phone calls. You've got chat on the website. We want to track that. You have, I think you probably have like a form fill. I haven't even seen it, but we want to track all those things as conversions, and we want that data to show up in the campaign. So let me go back to campaigns tab here. So again, one of the first things we want to fix is your conversion tracking. And that will drive a lot of the additional things we're going to do. So campaign level settings, let's look at that real quick. Campaign settings. So the most immediate thing we want to change is you see this networks setting. It's got search partners, and display network. That means your ads are showing on more than just Google search. I looked at the data, and the good news is that most of your traffic is coming from google.com searches. So although this setting is not ideal, you're not like wasting a ton of money running your ads on various websites out there, which really is what the display network is. And we're going to turn this off, but just want to let you know, like that's not a good setting, but it's not affecting you negatively. So we are just going to shut it off though. Your budget is set at $783 a day. That's might be a little bit too low, might not. Once we start to measure conversions, we'll know how many clicks it takes us to generate a conversion. So call, chat, web form. We're going to be able to figure out how much it costs us to generate that and how many clicks it takes to generate that. And if you should start thinking, well, how many results do we want per day? Obviously, we'd love to get numerous inquiries every day, but for the budget we do have, how many results can we get per day with that spend? So this number, I don't have a good number to tell you yet on what we should spend per day, but we're going to figure that out once we track conversions. There's a couple other settings here, like you have this one here is your bid strategy. It's called maximize clicks. There's nothing wrong with that at this time. We don't have conversion data really, so once we do get that data, we may change this bid strategy where we're saying, hey, instead of letting Google choose how much to spend on a click, we're going to decide. We're going to take that control back. The same goes with your ad rotation here. We're letting Google optimize for the best performing ads, but when we could have that control manually, like we can control that. So again, we don't know which ads are bringing in the conversions. We do know which ads are bringing in more clicks. So you have some ads that are looking like a better click-through rate. And for those, we actually want to take some action on those. So we'll probably change this setting. Location targeting, you're targeting all of New York. And I looked at this, so it's actually including 25 million people. We could probably get a little bit more granular than that if there are some zip codes where these are going to be like the ideal homes, these are going to be like the ideal income levels or net worth levels. Then we can only target your ads to those areas. It might not be a bad idea, but just let you know, like we're targeting all of New York. And we do have the setting opened up so that people, like we talked about, people in LA or another state or another country, if they type New York concierge service or New York home assistant, your ads should show to those folks, and you want it to. So that setting is correct for that. A couple other settings here. Your ad schedule is open 24/7, so your ads are eligible to show any day of the week and at any time. Now they're not going to show at any day, any time, because your budget is limited to this number here. So Google is going to like intersperse when your ad shows. It's not going to show up 100% of the time because of the budget. But you're not saying, turn my ads off on Sunday or only run my ads, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., anything like that. Everything is sort of equal in terms of when your ad can show. And then you're also showing on all devices. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, we don't know which devices perform better. Most of your traffic is split evenly between desktop or laptop computers versus mobile devices. Good or bad, we can't say yet, but we will have the ability to spend more or less on a certain device type. So if we find that more calls are coming in from mobile devices and the result looks better bang for your buck, we're going to be able to spend more there. Just wanted to show you guys that real quick. Your campaign and ad group and keyword structure. So like I said, we're going to only want to target Google search. We don't want to target the display network. We're going to remove that setting. We want to pair out the device targeting though. So right now, all your keywords, all your ads are eligible to show on computers, mobile devices, or tablets. But as soon as we start to get that conversion data, we want to be able to see that data separately for these variables. So you got devices, you've got the networks. We want to be able to show your ads separately and manage your budget separately for all these variables. Another one is the single keyword ad groups, right? So what does that mean? Right now, if we look at your ad groups, you've got 3 of them: personal assistant, business name, and travel carrier. So if we click into one of these, right? So we'll stop there. Within your ad group, you have keywords and you have ads that show whenever those keywords map to a Google search. So the best strategy typically on Google, or a keyword search campaign, is going to be your ad is custom tailored to the keyword that the person typed in. Makes sense, right? So you want to have, the way to do that, you want to have the keywords all separated out in their own ad groups so that you can do that, right? So if I go into personal assistant, you have concierge service is your top spending keyword lifetime. Your second top spending keyword is private personal assistant. Then you got personal concierge, concierge services NYC. You got assistant in. That keyword scares me a little bit. But all these keywords are slightly different. And the reality is, like, all of these keywords are getting the same ad coverage right now. So if we wanted to have an ad headline that says concierge service versus private personal assistant, we need to put these keywords into their own ad groups, like I said. And that is going to allow us to write very custom ads for each keyword. Why do you want to do that? Well, one, it's more relevant for the person searching, right? So they're more likely to click on the ad. And when they do that, when you can get a higher CTR number here, this click-through rate, this one has a pretty decent one. You got a 4%, and your average across the ad group is 0.98%. But the better